Karnataka Home Minister has said not just the students but parents of some students are linked to communal organizations in Karnataka, commenting on the Udupi hijab controversy. The state home minister went on to say that the state government is investigating the role of a communal organization in these incidents which have taken place at the Udupi Pre-University Girls College. That's a major comment that comes in from the Karnataka government. Now remember, there is a link to the controversial Islamist organization, the Popular Front of India, and you've heard the name of this organization in connection with certain developments that had taken place relating to the Citizenship Amendment Act protests in the national capital and a riotous situation that had emerged in Uttar Pradesh. Now, the Home Minister of Karnataka has made certain comments. Let's quickly listen in to the Karnataka Home Minister before I get you more on the story.
ಮಂಡ್ಯದ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಕೆಲವು ಮತೀಯ ಸಂಘಟನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅರಿವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಇನ್ನು ಎನ್ಕ್ವೈರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅವರಿಂದ ಎಷ್ಟು ಈ ಕೆಲವು ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಚೋದನೆ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಎನ್ಕ್ವೈರಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರವರ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯವನ್ನ ವ್ಯಕ್ತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಇಂದ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
We'll get you more on this investigation, this alleged communal body and the role it had to play, and the students' wing of the Popular Front of India, the Campus Front of India. I'll get you much more on the story, but let me bring you the day's top story. As thousands of burqa-clad women took to the streets in different parts of the country, from Maharashtra to Karnataka to other parts, demanding a right to hijab, which incidentally was never taken away. The question remains, who is lighting these fires? What is the origin of this hijab controversy that's taken parts of the country by storm? Reports indicate that a protest in October resulted in the student wing of this controversial Islamist organization, the Popular Front of India, reportedly instigating protests demanding hijab even in classroom, which the college management says is in violation of a uniform code already in place. Nolan Pinto and Nagarjun Dwarkanath with our top story.
What triggered this hijab versus saffron shawl showdown in Karnataka? What fueled protests that have gone national? There was protest in Udupi led by ABVP on 30th October last year, demanding a probe into the alleged rape of a Manipal student. Images showed Muslim girls holding the ABVP flag as part of the protest. Reports suggest that one of the students, Muskaan Zainab from the PU college, who's now a petitioner in the case, took part in the protest. And that allegedly infuriated the PFI-linked student body, Campus Front of India.
In that, they are in the front with burqa, not only hijab, with burqa they are there. That was an issue for Campus Front of India. Muslim girls are going for a ABVP protest.
The matter quickly led to a standoff between the families of 6 Muslim students and the college management. The college principal told India Today that Zainab didn't attend the protest at the behest of the institution.
ಸರ್, ಅದ್ರ ನಂತರನು CFI ಅವರು ಬಂದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಟ್
ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಥರ್ಡ್ ಡೇ ಬರುವಾಗಲೇ ಅವರು ಅಗ್ರೆಸಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ತಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯಾಪ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಮೀರಿ ಬಿಹೇವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ.
Students remain defiant. CFI, the campus affiliate of the PFI, an Islamist outfit that was set up in Kerala in 2006, was now backing them. BJP has been wanting to ban PFI because of its allegedly radical tendencies.
We have not banned hijab. We are only asked to remove the hijab in the classroom. In the veranda, till the classroom it is allowed. When the class starts, we asked to remove it. Like earlier, it is not from the earlier. So one conspiracy is that.
The police say there's nothing to confirm that the October 2021 stir triggered the hijab face-off.
I can't confirm that at present, but we are also trying to verify.
Okay. Udupi police have given some intel report. Is it true, sir?
That you will have to ask in separate thing.
Curiously, unverified Twitter handles of 4 out of 6 pro-hijab petitioners from PU College Udupi came up between October and November 2021. These handles have been regularly posting updates on the hijab controversy and have also retweeted content from Campus Front of India.
कंप्लीटली एक नॉनसेंस है। ऐसे कुछ छोटे मोटे बात को लेके कंप्लीटली एक इशू को इधर गुमराने के लिए की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। तो इशू टोटली क्या है बोले तो कॉन्स्पिरेसीज का बिहाइंड क्या है बोले तो ये इशू को लेके बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट फायदा उठाने को चाह रही है। ये इसका पीछे का एक साजिश है।
The hijab row that has now snowballed in Karnataka seems to be rooted in the communally fraught coastal belt where radical organizations are fighting for supremacy. With Nagarjun Dwarkanath, Bureau Report, India Today.
So is this hijab controversy a political or even more sinister, a criminal conspiracy to fan communal fires in our country? Karnataka government is probing the political connections of the parents of some of these girls, demanding the right to wear a hijab to class. The management says this is a violation of the uniform rule not put in place right now. In previous years, according to the college management, the girls never wore a hijab to the classroom. Now, joining me on India First is KP Fatima Shireen. She is the National Committee member of the Campus Front of India. Malvika Avinash is the spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP. India Today's Nolan Pinto also joins me on the broadcast. And Nolan, were these protests by these 6 Muslim girls organic, or is the government investigating whether they were egged on, pushed by Campus Front of India, the student wing of the Popular Front of India?
Well, Gaurav, right from the beginning, the Education Minister has been saying that he feels, and this is the information he has received. In fact, even today when we spoke to him, that the students per se are not doing this. There is someone who is actually using them as pawns in this. This is from the Education Minister. This evening, the Home Minister also stated when we asked him, what does he have to say about the allegations of that there are organizations behind this? And he says that it's not just one girl whose parents are linked to one of these organizations, but a lot of the students over there. And the Karnataka government is looking into the antecedents of all this. In fact, he has been constantly stating that they are looking into, and they've named the PFI, the PFI and the Campus Front of India.
Yes.
He has actually named these organizations. Now, even though the girls state that they only went to them for help, the Education Minister, the Home Minister, seriously questioned, saying that it's not possible for these girls to actually organize these protests on these large scales, to go to the Karnataka High Court, to go to the Supreme Court without the backing of a very powerful organization with a lot of money.
A very interesting point to make there. And Fatima Shireen, did the Campus Front of India get involved seeing Muslim girls participating in an ABVP protest rally in October? Did the CFI egg them on to take on the school college management and not attend even class without hijab?
The first thing, who participated in an ABVP strike, that is none of my concern, and I am not involved with that. And I cannot answer to that question because I'm not responsible for that. And another thing, we haven't compelled anyone to come forward or to make an issue. But actually, what happened was this issue could have been dealt inside the Udupi government pre-university itself if the management was ready to hear what the students have tell. But it was when the management was reluctant to accept or acknowledge their problems, that is when the students go to approach the court. That was not Campus Front of India. That was the students' decision. That was
The
them
question
going
remains,
there.
madam,
Now
who is
you
funding these students? Who is paying for, all the activities that are taking place as alleged? And of course, it's a matter of investigation. But is this all very well orchestrated that suddenly protests erupt in different parts of the country? Suddenly you have Malala Yousafzai reacting, you have Pakistan's government reacting, and is this all a part of a toolkit? That's a matter of investigation. But let me take this to Malvika Avinash. Where is the violation of a law by the Campus Front of India or the PFI, Malvika Avinash? What difference does it make if the parents of any of these 6 protesting Muslim girls are either members of the SDPI or the PFI, madam?
You see, Gauravji, since we are on India Today and you are a part of India Today, let me tell you that I have watched several stories of radicalization that is carried out by the PFI that has been reported by your channel across Kerala and coastal Karnataka. So the PFI has been a sore in our arm for a very, very long time. And a lot of RSS and BJP activists have been murdered. They are the accused in those murders, whether it is SDPI is the accused in Rudresh's murder, in Sharath Madiyal's murder, in Paresh Mehta's murder. So this goes back a very long way. This attempt of PFI to somehow wade in the waters of Karnataka goes a very long way. I won't go into the details of that. However, these girls, you tell me, is it not apparent that these girls who were otherwise fine with wearing the hijab only up until the classroom and then taking it off and then sitting and listening to the lessons and then returning home in their hijab, suddenly why is it that they are so stubborn that they want their hijabs inside the classroom?
Okay.
Isn't it apparent that there has been some kind of like you said, egging on by somebody?
If
Now,
there
who
is a
that somebody
violation
is,
of the
we'll know
law, my
once
only
the
submission
investigation
is,
happens.
if there is a violation of the law, why is the government not proceeding legally against those who violate the law of the land? That's my question to you. But let me once again take this to Fatima Shireen. Fatima Shireen, the principal of the Udupi Girls College, and you heard him here on India Today, says CFI activists met the college management claiming to be guardians of these girls. CFI is trying to make inroads on the campus, lighting these communal fires. As Malvika Avinash ji says that girls had no problem taking off the hijab and attending class in previous years. Only post-December or in December, they've become adamant.
See, we have never approached any institution claiming that we are the guardians of the students. What we have done, I mean, into the extreme, you can point out that we have given our solidarity to the students who is protesting. And also you were telling that the issue has sprung up all of a sudden and solidarity from different parts of the world was coming. See how this happened. It was only in this Udupi college, but it spread, the issue spread into several colleges only because the ABVP students weared saffron shawl, chanted Jai Shri Ram, and they were alleging that they were insisting that their classmates shouldn't be wearing hijab inside the college.
Were these girls wearing a hijab inside class? No, answer me, madam. Were they wearing a hijab to class in the previous year or the year before that or the year before that?
That doesn't consider, because if a student is saying that, if a citizen of this country is saying that,
ma'am, hold on. I've asked you a very specific question. I'm sorry, madam. I have asked you a very specific question. Were they wearing a hijab to class last year or the year before that or the year before that? Or did they start this only after coming in contact with the PFI or its student front?
See, when the students started to decide that we will be wearing our headscarf, that is not linked with any PFI, any campus friend of India or any other
May I come
organization,
in?
that is their personal choice. If they are started to feel that they are means they are compelled to suspend their religion for a particular time, their faith for a particular time. If they feel that that is against our conscience, that is against the belief, then of course
Really nice.
as being a citizen of this country, that the people, the students very peacefully first approached their principal, their parents approached the principal, the management, but they were reluctant to hear them, they were reluctant to consider their
No,
their
so
plea.
so
That
suddenly
is why-
six
that
girls
is why they
decided
thought-
my way or highway, or with their protest, the education of 900 poor girls is being impacted, including 90 Muslim girls. But I'll come to you with that question in just a moment. Malvika Avinash, you wanted to come in, and my question still remains, madam. If there is an illegality, what action is the Basavaraj Bommai government taking? Or, as is the allegation, ma'am, this is only being exploited politically?
No, no, not at all. See, the government does not want trouble now, especially in colleges, because for the last 2 years, you've seen the kind of crisis that has loomed at large over the world. See, these students have been kept away from schools and colleges for such a long time thanks to COVID. So this is not the time that the government will indulge in any of this or make it difficult for themselves. So to call the government, or to accuse the government of all this is not fair. Let me tell you that investigation is underway. It's preliminary investigation. The stage, we are yet not at a stage where fingers can be pointed and arrests can be made, or any kind of action can be taken. However, let me tell you that I heard my CFI friend herself not sure of why these girls started the protest. See, that's the key. Why did they start the protest? Because you earlier spoke of how PFI was involved in the CAA protests and riots. I can tell you how the SDPI created havoc in Mangalore during the CAA protests, and there was so much chaos, stone pelting, and so on and so forth. And they are accused in those cases too. As far as the cases of murder of RSS activists are concerned, some are with CBI, some is with the NIA, some with the state government. So these are matters of investigation. She's yet to convince me or tell me that CFI is not involved. What is CFI doing in Karnataka if it is not speaking to the students at all? She says they don't speak to them. The other thing I found very, very intriguing is since yesterday, we've been seeing social media throw up a lot of tweets that these girls have been part of, which involves a lot of CFI activity, or vice versa. Either the CFI is retweeting them or they are retweeting the CFI.
Ma'am, retweeting and tweeting anyway is not a violation of the law of the land, at least, so far. But if there is an illegality...
No, we are only talking of who could have prompted them to do what they are doing.
Ma'am, any innuendo, ma'am, if there is an illegality, do take legal action against those who may be trying to burn our country.
Front of India cannot duck this.
Okay, but let me bring in Nolan Pinto. Nolan, the principal and the management says that in previous years, and they've apparently even put out pictures, last year the girls were not wearing a hijab. The year before that, they were not wearing a hijab. When did this all suddenly start? Fatima Shireen also kind of ducked that very specific question.
Gaurav, the government right from the beginning has stated that there is something known as a CDC, which means a College Development Committee. And according to the Karnataka government rules, it's the College Development Committee that will decide the uniform that students will have to wear. So when you say uniform, they don't have to stress that you don't have to wear this, you have to wear that, and not this and that. A uniform is a uniform. Any person with common sense will know what's a uniform. So the school principal, the committee members, the MLA of Udupi is also a committee member. We spoke to him in the month of January, the beginning of January, and they have all told us that the students, all of them, followed the rules. It was only towards the end of December 30th, to be more precise, that one fine day they came over there, 6 of them, and stated that they want to enter with a hijab. And that is when, this is what the MLA and also the school principal tell us, that they told them that the school CDC rules are that you have to follow your uniform. If you don't want to follow this uniform, they are willing to give a TC and the students can go to any college. The college has no
So
problem
for
saying that
six,
follow the rules.
respond Fatima Shireen, respond. Because this is very specific.
10 seconds? May I just add 10 seconds to what Nolan is saying? Just 10 seconds.
Go on, ma'am.
The CDC that Nolan mentioned has all the stakeholders in it. It has the parents,
Yes.
it has the guardians of the students, it has the management, it has a local
Political representative.
of the
Fair
people.
enough, ma'am.
So
That
it's
point
a large
taken.
body.
That
It's a
point
large
taken.
body. There is no arbitrary decision made by the people.
Okay, so respond,
See,
Fatima
I hope I
Shireen.
can interject here,
Respond, Fatima Shireen. 6 girls want to wear a hijab. There are 90 other girls, they don't want to wear a hijab. They are not wearing a hijab. These 6 girls
even
want an education of 900 girls is suffering because of these 6 girls.
Even if it is one person or a bunch of person, if a citizen of this nation is
Citizen
claiming
of
that
this
my
nation,
rights,
it is your right, but your right does not override the right of 900 other students. School
See, this
decides.
students, this-
Kerala High
see,
Court in 2018
see,
made it
you
very
are-
clear. I am
let
sorry,
me complete
Kerala High
first.
Court
Let
made it
me
very
complete
clear, and I
first.
think you need to know this. In an institution, it is the institution that decides the rules and not students. Or, as the management says, take TC and go to whichever school that permits you to wear a hijab and study.
This sounds like if you are not comfortable here, go to Pakistan. See, this is what
I am
we
sorry,
are
other
telling.
schools are not
See,
Pakistan. I am sorry, you cannot draw a false equivalence. You cannot.
see,
That may be a
let me
toolkit,
tell-
not
let me
on
what-
this broadcast.
See, let me tell first this. See, even though the students has had this problem, they didn't instigate any violence. They very peacefully, democratically approached their
And the management turned it down.
Their parents,
The management, after due process, turned it down.
That is why they approached the court, because that is the democratic way of addressing a feeling
And the
of,
courts have also
feeling
said,
of justice.
or reopen school, courts have reopened college, and no religious symbol to be worn. And that is the question. Why are people protesting on the streets? Do some people think that they are above the law of the land? Are they trying to bully? Is this an attempt? Is this an attempt to bully?
Why don't you address the issues instigated by the ABVP student?
Or instigated by the CFI? Or instigated by the Campus Front of India? It needs to be investigated.
Instigating them to wear saffron shawls.
It is to be investigated. I am sorry, madam.
You
Who's
are telling
instigating
that it is
who
be
to wear a
investigated, and you
hijab
are very
inside
clear
class
that we-
needs to be
you
investigated.
are very clear that we instigated the issues in Udupi College, and you tell that who instigated.
Two wrongs do not make a right. Two wrongs do not make a right. And Malvika Avinash, this needs to be investigated. The people wearing a shawl, in case they indulged in hooliganism, action against them and action against those who indulged in India. In India, and this must be clear to every Indian citizen, rule of law has to be supreme. Rule
Yes,
of
the
law,
rule of
constitution,
law is
and not Sharia. Rule of law has to be supreme. I let that matter,
May I just
of
have
course, be
one
decided.
last word?
That matter
May I
will be
just
decided
have
by
one
a
last
court of
word?
law, but we'll be tracking the story very, very closely. I've run
may
out
I
of
just
time
have
on this part. I've run out of time on this part of the show. I need to take a quick break. Coming up next is Business Today with Abha Bakaya.